welcome to my channel. My name is Scott, call sign Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Foxtrot. I don't know why I spelled it phonetically in a video. It's because I've been using it that way throughout the Virginia QSO Party. So I'm going to talk about that.
CQ, this is Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Foxtrot.
Roger, roger, you are blasted into the state of Ohio 59+1.
Welcome back and thanks for being here. My name is Scott. I think I said that already. Getting a little distracted from the driving and all the radio operating. And right now I am up in Richmond County. Where did I just leave? Warsaw? I think I'm leaving Warsaw right now on my way to Tappahannock in Essex County. I'm toward the close of the contest. This is where I wanted to be at the beginning of the contest yesterday morning. However, everything got thrown off kilter due to a flat tire. I had planned everything out from my travel time, my operating time, my stops. I'm not operating while I'm driving at all. And all of that, it was a pretty ambitious plan. And oddly enough, I might have been able to stick with it. I'm not sure, because I've been having a couple of stomach issues over the past few days. So I had jokingly said, all it'll take is one bad piece of cheese and the schedule is all off. Well, man plans and God laughs. So here we were on my way up to Tappahannock here to be my first operating position, and I had a flat. It wasn't a blowout and it wasn't a leak. I hit something that I didn't see, but I could hear it thump, 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 thump in the tire for maybe about 15 or 20 seconds, and then it flew out. And I was hoping it was just something that was in the tread that got flung out, but then within, gosh, it couldn't have even been 10 or 15 seconds. I had the tire pressure indicator, and thankfully a place where I could move off and stop happened to stop right at a Dollar General store. Tire was definitely flat, so it went flat really fast. I haven't had that happen in a really long time. And thankfully this car has a spare tire. It is just a donut, but it got me to a discount tire store. I do carry plugs. I did get the question, why didn't you just plug it? And so, do you have a plug kit? Do you have a compressor? Oh, you need all of that stuff, assuming that I don't have it. But I do have all of that stuff. But I have a tire warranty. So had the puncture, which I could very clearly see once I pulled the wheel off, had the puncture been outside on the shoulder, there's an area where they will not plug a tire. Had it been there, I would have plugged it and went on with my day and then had the tire replaced under warranty. But because the puncture was in the center of the tire, toward the center of the tire, I knew that they would patch it internally from inside. So I did that. So what it cost me though was time, because seemed like I was halfway to Tappahannock and the nearest discount tire store was back the other way, 45 minutes. And so I lost the amount of time it took to change the tire, which I had a lot of stuff in the trunk to offload, then get the car up, the wheel off, the spare on. And as you can see, if you can see this behind me, my spare tire, I didn't put it back where it belongs. I didn't want to have to deal with all this again, especially now that it's raining. So the tire is riding behind my head here, and I will put it where it belongs later. And by the way, not only do I have a spare tire, which a lot of newer cars don't have these days, but it also fits in the trunk under all of that communications gear. So I have long said I've never needed a spare tire. Most of the time you don't think you need it, but when you have one, it's nice. There we go, enough on that. So basically this wonderful schedule that I made out for myself to do for yesterday, all of that was thrown off. I lost about 3 hours overall to that incident. Because I was in Williamsburg, I went ahead and decided to pick up my Sunday schedule, albeit 3 hours late. So I did that. I didn't do all of the counties that were on my Sunday schedule, but I got most of them. I was just out of sorts and I didn't make that many contacts. I didn't even break 100 contacts. And right now I don't even remember what the number was, but it was nothing to write home about. And that's because I was doing too much of what's known as search and pounce. And that's when you scroll through the band looking for somebody that they're running the frequency, right? And so you search for them and then you pounce. So first it takes time to find them. Then when you find them, you have to fight your way through the pileups, beating out other stations. And if you're lucky, they hear the mobile part, and they give mobiles priorities because mobile stations are worth 3 points instead of 1 point, or 2 or 3, or yeah, 2 points if you're a CW station. So mobile stations are worth the break in taking them first, but they have to hear us. So when I do that, I think oftentimes I only make about 10 contacts per hour, sometimes even less depending on how much searching I have to do. And in order to get a multiplier for a new county, I have to make at least 10 contacts. So if I haven't made 10 contacts in that hour, then I got to stay even longer so that I get the 10. Again, that's time consuming and it puts me off schedule. Where if I run it, which means I find an open frequency and then I just camp and call CQ and everybody calls me. Now again, the same thing, I'm worth 3 points per QSO contact, so they will line up and wait for me and call me, and that's better for me, obviously. And then I make, well, 30 or 40 or even 60 contacts in an hour. Obviously, that's better. Here's an example. Let me give you a tour of my setup here. Here is my desk. It is mounted to my steering wheel. There's a few microphones there. I guess I've been using both of these, not using that radio today. Here is my tablet. That's a pretty obvious one there. What I'm using this for is this is a spotting page for the Virginia QSO Party. If I was doing a hunt and pounce routine, then I would look here to see what frequencies everybody's operating on. And here in the Virginia QSO Party, I mean, there are exceptions, but most operators are on 7 megs or 40 meters. I am going to run the band, run a frequency, and so I have my call sign. That's me. I'm spotting myself. That's allowed in this contest. My mobile, this is what I'm operating. I'm going to put a frequency in there in just a minute as soon as I find an open one. And I am in Essex County, ESS. Here's the rest of the station here. My radios. I last ran on 7290 kilohertz. And you can see I'm monitoring a couple of simplex frequencies there. My FT857D is turned off. I've made a few contacts on it, but for the most part, it's just staying off. My Scorpion antenna controller, it's been on 40 meters all day, so I just do minor corrections to it while I operate. There is my voice keyer. I use that for calling CQ. My microphone, I am not using my headset today, so I am actually using a real microphone. I need to find a better solution for mounting it. I used to mount it right here, but with the desk in place, it's a little awkward. A little light here. This light is good for when I'm operating in the dark. So I can see these keys in the dark, and there's something else that I need to see in the dark, but I can't think of it right now. I could use it to illuminate this keyboard, but those keys are lighted already. Speaking of the keyboard, there is my computer, so you can see that I have made 291 contacts, and I'm pretty sure that I will get that up over, I hope to make it to 400 tonight. I'm running out of time making this video, so I got to shut up and get to work. I got my glasses for seeing up nice and close. Rotator controller for VHF contest. The rotator is not mounted right now, so it is just kind of sitting there, but it rides in the desk all the time. I can't go anywhere without famous Amos, so Amos always rides with me. And this here is my fan controller. So if I push this little on button, it's magnetically held to the desk here. So there's my fan. I think K8MRD did a review of this fan years ago. It's not even available anymore, but it's still an awesome fan. So once I stop, I got no air circulation going on in here, so I turn on the fan. Let's see, I already mentioned that I'm not using my headset today, but it's still always in the car. All right, that's it. Let's get to work. We'll try to find us an open frequency here. Let's turn up some volume. All right, I don't hear anything going here on 7290. So what I do is I call 3 times to see if the frequency's in use. And if nobody answers, I let her rip. Sometimes somebody will dip in after all of that and cry about it, but it hasn't happened during this contest so far, so here we go. Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Foxtrot, is this frequency in use? And when I don't get an answer, I go ahead and I start typing it in so that I can get ready to spot. Is this frequency in use? KE4WMF. See, now somebody's tuning. They're either getting ready to pounce on me, or they're getting ready to interfere, or they're getting ready to use the frequency themselves. Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Foxtrot, is this frequency in use? All right, here we go. So I push the button. Now I'm going to hit spot. Turn up the volume. All right, nothing yet. Radio Papa, go ahead.
November 4, Radio Papa.
November 4, Radio Papa. You are 265 Romeo India Charlie, over.
Give me the number again.
265.
Okay, I only heard it was 25 the first time. I knew that couldn't be right. 438,
All right, 438. Fuck here. A good copy on that. Thanks for calling. This is Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Foxtrot QRZ.
Kilowatt 4, Juliet Tango November.
Kilo 4 Juliet Tango November. Hold on, let me fix your call sign because I goofed it up. So K4 JTN 266 Romeo India Charlie, over.
K4 JTN.
All right, Kilo 4 JTN, I have you 266 Romeo India Charlie, over.
Okay, I had you at 266 in Richmond County. Please copy 161 in Northumberland. November Uniform Mike.
161 Northumberland, QSL.
161 Northumberland.
All right, thanks a lot for calling. This is KE4WMF Mobile QRZ.
November 8, Romeo Zulu.
November 8, Romeo Zulu, 267 Romeo India Charlie.
Copy 267. You are my 157 Fairfax Fox X-ray.
157 Fox X-ray, QSL.
QSL. QNH TV.
All right, thanks a lot for calling. This is Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Foxtrot Mobile QRZ. Lima Echo Whiskey.
Roger, Whiskey 4, Lima Echo Whiskey.
All right, Whiskey 4 Lima Echo Whiskey 268 Romeo India Charlie, QSL.
QSL, thank you. You are number 652, Chesterfield, Charlie Hotel Echo.
652 Chesterfield, thanks for calling KE4WMF Mobile QRZ.
Kilo 4 Hotel Papa.
Kilo 4 Hotel Papa. I just barely hear you. And of course, I'm kidding. Let's see. 269er Romeo India Charlie. QSL?
Roger, you're 1055, 1055 Orange, Oscar Romeo Golf.
Roger, 1055 Orange. Thanks for calling QRZ. Thanks. This is Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Foxtrot Mobile QRZ. Right, and just like that, it ends. I could keep calling, but at this point, let me turn that down. At this point, I have made plenty of contacts, and I'm ready to move on to another county. So let me see how many I made here. 1, 2, 3, 7, 28, 29, So 29, and let's see, it is 2134. That's Zulu. That hasn't even been 20 minutes. The funny thing is I budget when I map all this stuff out. And because these contests only happen once a year for me, I always forget what I need to do. I always budget 1 hour. And then I ask myself, am I disciplined enough to stay in one place for only an hour? And I asked myself that question because I was so accustomed to search and pounce. And when I search and pounce, if I don't have at least 10 contacts so that I can get to multiple for being in one county making 10 contacts, I stay longer. And then I fall behind schedule. I also budget in, I'm budgeting in my fuel stops and restroom stops and meal breaks into the transit time. So my transit time is usually between 20 and 30 minutes between each stop. And if I think it's lunchtime or dinner time, I'll throw in an extra half hour. And I budget the fuel pretty well too. So it's my stop time that I have to budget better. But if I make it a point, like I did here, I did just minimal search and pounce. And the only time I did that is while I was actually eating, because I can eat and do that and push my button and let the voice do the talking here. And then if I get through, I get through. So I don't have any anticipation of racking up a lot of contacts while I'm eating. But once I say, all right, I'm getting to it and I'm going to run the frequency, it all happens fairly quickly. So here we are, 29 contacts in less than 30 minutes. And that's not bad at all. I could keep going, but I want to go ahead and move on to the next county. We are expecting a storm of some sort. I haven't been paying attention to the weather. I saw rain and thunder showers possible. And after my career in the Coast Guard, it's easy to look out and say, oh, it's just wind and rain. Once the lightning starts, a lot of hams get concerned, but I don't necessarily, because I'm surrounded by trees most of the time. So the lightning strike is if it's gonna get me, it's gonna get me. There's nothing I can do about that. The equipment, it's probably gonna be toast. And that's gonna be true whether I'm in the car or not. So I just run it. I will stay off the interstate because people get stupid out there. So I'll take back roads home, even if it takes a little longer. So there you go. That's how it works. Running versus search and pounce. Yesterday I was in the search and pounce mindset. I don't know why. It had to have been the flat being put off schedule. Everything was behind. Today I did better. The only time I searched and pounced is if I was eating, because then it was convenient. And then once I didn't have any distractions, I went straight to running the frequency. I made way more contacts that way. So far I'm almost at 300 contacts. And so I will easily, let's see, it'll be 6 o'clock by the time I stop to work from another location. Contest ends in 2 hours. I'm going to shoot for 400. My goal was to make 500 QSOs. And if I did as good yesterday as I did today, I would have done that. So that's what I'm hoping for. So, gosh, I wish I was telling you something enlightening about the Virginia QSO Party, but I'm not. It's just a radio sport, as it's sometimes called. And gosh, I'm trying to get in the left lane, but this guy's just camping right in my blind spot here. Oh, he's got his phone out taking video. That's why he doesn't know what he's doing. So here we go. All right, let's see. Nothing new to pass about all of that stuff, so I will go ahead and end the video here. And if I have end results, I will share them. So talk to you later. Thanks for visiting. See ya.